Now, one of the terms that seems to stump a lot of students when they're doing an inquiry such as this is the term parameters, and usually in the plural, singular parameter. So look, let's just start off by looking into what this word parameters actually means. Now, if you were to go to the Merriam dictionary or the Merriam dictionary, you'd get an explanation such as limit or boundary. And they give you an example in the sentence: the investigation stayed within the parameters set by the court. This is a court investigation. Instead of using parameters, they could have said the investigation stayed within the limits set by the court, or the investigation stayed within the boundaries set by the court. The Cambridge Dictionary will explain to you that parameters are a set of facts, or, this is important, fixed limits that establish or limit how something can or must happen or be done. And the example in a sentence they give: the researchers must keep within the parameters of the experiment, or the researchers must keep within the fixed limits of the experiment. Another example: the central office sets the parameters that guide policy at the local level, or the central office establishes the parameters that guide. Okay. Another example would be a limit or a boundary which defines the scope of a particular process or activity. Okay, so you can see here that we're talking about narrowing something down to make it manageable, because you can't possibly investigate everything. More words that come to mind that mean the same as parameters are framework, variables, limits, boundaries, limiting factors, limitations, restrictions, specifications, criteria, guidelines, and so on and so forth. Okay, so look, well, let's just go on to have a look at an example of what it is that we mean by parameters, using a topic which has got nothing to do with sustainability, environment, but the principle is the same. Okay, so in this example, the broad topic, the overarching topic is educational experience, seen here in the middle. Now, we cannot possibly investigate or inquire into educational experience completely. It would take more words than we've been asked to do in this assignment. So we have to be selective and choose our parameters for our limitations. So examples of parameters in looking into educational experience would be supporting discourse, cognitive presence, selecting content, teaching presence, setting the climate, and social presence. Okay, so you would then look into only those particular limitations or areas of the topic educational experience. All right, now let's go on to have a look at an example from a previous student of how they went about not only selecting their parameters, but into signalling or conveying to their audience what those parameters are. Okay, well, having decided now on the limitations, in other words, the parameters of your investigation, the next step is, how do you express it? How do you communicate or convey how you want to limit your investigation to your audience? Well, here in front of us is an example of what a student in a previous study period has done. Now, of course, their topic has been removed and the word topic put in, but have a read of this, and I'll read it with you in just a second, to see whether or not you can identify how they've expressed to the audience that how they've communicated their parameters, and can you tell what the parameters are? Okay, so how have they done it? How many parameters have they chosen? And what are the actual parameters? Okay, pause if you like, and I'll just read it through as well. Alright, the research area of this project will focus on topic, concentrating on 4 key elements. The unsustainable negative effects of topic on the marine environment and humans, the problem with wastewater treatment systems, distribution of topic in the marine environment all over the world, and steps taken to halt production of topic, including challenges of cleaning up current accumulation of topic. Okay, well, how did you go? Have you been able to identify how this student expressed or signalled to their audience that they were about to start talking about their parameters? Have you been able to identify how many parameters? And have you been able to identify what those parameters are? Let's scroll down and have a look, shall we? Okay, well, here we are again. And this time we're looking to see how the student signalled to their audience that they were going to talk about parameters or identify the parameters for the audience. We wanted to know how many parameters, and not only how many parameters, but just what those parameters were. Okay, so look, let's have a look. The research area of this project will focus on topic, concentrating on 4 key elements. Well, there it is in the first sentence. That is the signal to the audience that they're about to share with you the parameters or the limitations of their inquiry. And they've also told us how many. It's going to be 4. So it's easy. The next step is, what are they? Well, I've identified them for you. The first parameter is to do with unsustainable negative effects. The second parameter is wastewater treatment systems. The third parameter is the distribution. And the fourth and final parameter is the steps taken to halt this production of whatever the topic is. So there we have it. This student has successfully signalled to the audience that they are going to convey to you the parameters they've identified. They've told you how many parameters. This is to help you follow what they're saying. And not only have they done that, they have successfully identified each of the parameters. And this would come in the part of the proposal and later on in the introduction towards the end. Okay? All right. Hopefully that helps you. Thanks everyone and good luck.